What's up, guys? So today is one of those rainy days in which my energy just gets sapped. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stream after I had a rough time on Friday evening traffic. And I had a few thoughts. And one of them is that at any given time, I tend to wonder stuff like how much money is lying around underground and on the ocean floor that is just unclaimed. That's a lot of money, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of this stuff has been lost during the course of history, especially with like sunken ships. So, just how much money is really out there? And I guess the reason I wonder that is because every once in a while you're walking and you see coins on the floor. Occasionally, you may even find dollar bills. And I'm thinking, you know what? This once belonged to someone. Now that someone lost it, now I'm claiming it. And just if I think about the entirety of the planet and the surface of the earth, just how much money is there lying around? I wish we had a way of telling. But even if we tried to calculate that, I would imagine that some people wouldn't even realize that they lost money to the ground. So, hey, Pracies. I hope that's the right way to say it. But see, I knew we would make it happen. I pick up pennies all day. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, that stuff adds up. Back in the day, like some 6 years ago, my mom and I had an issue to where we had a very tough financial situation. And then the way we survived for about 2 weeks was by picking stuff from the ground. And that paid for like McDonald's food when it used to be extra affordable back then. And now they keep secretly cranking up the prices on everything. But yeah, it's just one of those things I wonder. Like, imagine if someone had enough power to go out and pick up money from the ground and just collect it and make us aware of how much has been out there. That would be cool. Hey, Miss Pamela, and hello, Holger. Hey, beautiful, finally caught you live. Yeah, I've had to be away for some time because work got crazy, and on top of that, my hours were different. Well, that's what made work crazy for me. And on top of that, some 5 days ago, I was starting to get sick with something. So all I kept doing was sniffling and just wiping stuff off my nose. And I said, nah, I'm not presentable for streaming. But I have collected some clips throughout the week to just put together on a video. But I have been blacking out at night so bad that my lamp is still on, my phone is still unlocked, and then I'm like, oh my god, why do I keep falling asleep and not realizing it? And on top of that, this is one of those weeks where, well, last week, the payroll I had left me really, 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 really bad, in a bad shape financially, because they had cut the hours of the store so that we get ready for the holidays, have an extra budget. And then I said, okay, long story short, I'm going to get messed up when it comes to the week. But now we're managing, fortunately. My mother is able to support me, so I said to her, Mom, if something happens, I may ask you for some help, and here's what I have been spending on. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to like get away with things. Stuff got tough. But anyways, all I gotta do is endure a little longer and it'll get better. But yeah, the store is starting to pick up, so that'll take care of a lot of problems. Stay awesome. Oh my god, and speaking of money, Garuda sends me some money. Thanks so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. I always find myself reenacting scenarios, arguing, whispering things I should have said. Yes! Oh my god. You know what? That happens to me a lot during interviews. Like, I'm like, you know what? Why did I go to an interview and presented myself like the weakest person ever? I could have talked about this. I could have said that. I could have mentioned this and that. Like, The most recent example I have is not an interview, but yes, it is an interview. Someone local opened up a donut shop, and because I am a frequent customer, they asked me if I would be willing to be recorded to just talk about what I like about their store. And I said, oh boy, this is my first time at having a shot at being famous. Yes. No, but seriously, had it been a different time in my life, maybe 5 years ago, I would have been so anxious and so shy and probably declined because I'm like, I'm not good talking. I'm not good in front of a camera. But then I said, that's a damn lie. Because when I was in school, we would have assignments in which you had to record things. And I enjoyed that so thoroughly as long as I did not hear my playback. Because I had issues about my perception of my voice. But nah, I just learned that it's just silliness. But anyways, so she opened her donut shop, and then there was this guy with some kind of microphone hooked to his phone, and then the phone was hooked to something else. And then I was saying good stuff. I'm like, yeah, I come here because I like the customer service. Everyone is always so friendly and gives me a warm welcome and just so kind. And occasionally, y'all let me sample stuff for free that I don't even ask for. And there is so much variety. Like, there's all kinds of flavors of donuts and stuff that I didn't even know you could throw into a donut. So that was exciting. And then when I finished the interview and I went home, I told myself I forgot to talk about my old-time favorite item, which isn't even a donut. It's a fucking apple fritter. Why did I not talk about the apple fritter? That was the first thing that she suggested to me that I tried, that she said, you should really try it. And I'm like, it looks loaded. It looks great. Apple anything is awesome. But how did I fail at talking about it? So I understand where you're coming from about rehearsing things. But then again, that day I wasn't even ready. I was wearing my gym clothes. I looked like a mess. I had not brushed my hair in like 4 days. And it was hot, so I was sweating a little bit as well. So basically, all the ingredients for a disaster gathered on that day. But anyways, it was a fun experience, and it also helped me challenge myself at how can I express an opinion while I am totally unprepared, totally off guard. And I felt like I was pretty happy with it. If I get in touch with that lady and because when I go to the shop these days, I don't get to see her much. But if I see her, I'll ask her if there's a way for me to find that video, and then I'll show you guys what it was like, and we can make a fool of myself. But anyways, I feel like I feel like everyone has those insecurities where you're caught off guard, but anyways, just do everything with confidence. Good morning. If I see coins on the pavement, it's totally mine. Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's a penny, don't be shy to pick it up because at some point it'll complete $1. So yeah, definitely. I never liked the sound of my recorded voice, yet I speak publicly every day. To tell you the truth, I have never met someone who expresses that they like their voice. So I think it's all in the head, really. I think it's psychology that we cannot escape from or something. At least you learned playing Black Ops 3 helped me in think fast in those situations. Apple fritters are my favorite. Maybe I should do an apple fritter video. There might be an apple fritter video already because I know that about a year ago I had a month in which I decided to buy a half dozen of donuts, and I challenged myself to not eat all of them in one sitting. So I would start a video by me eating a donut and then talk about things. But yeah, I felt so stupid doing that. That's not healthy at all. Zero nutritional value whatsoever, but it's okay. I mean, as long as you're moderating it, you should be fine. But I try to be healthy. What is the name of the donut shop? It is. Can you believe me? I haven't been there in a while to the point that I don't remember. Um, I think it's called Downtown Donuts. Yeah, it has to be Downtown Donuts. Something like that. Yeah, it is Downtown Donuts. So, yeah, I have to I have to see if she has her website set up already, because the last time I asked her about it, she said that the reason I cannot access it is because she was like changing the website, given that she opened the second store and she wanted to just shut it down for a bit until she remodels it, reconstructs it. So yeah, yeah. How did I forget the donut shop? I'm there almost every day, but I haven't been there in like 2 weeks. So, and there's so many downtown, or sorry, donut places in this freaking town that, yeah, it's crazy. If I see people drop money, I will let them know. If I see random money on the ground, it is a good day, free money. Yeah, absolutely. If someone drops something, definitely I will tell them. I would want them to tell me, ma'am, you dropped something. And I'm like, oh, please. Yeah, thanks for telling me, because I cannot afford to be losing money like that. But if it's there and there's no one close by, it's mine. But the problem with asking people, hey, is this yours? Is that it may not be theirs and they might say, yeah, and then take it, and then your find becomes their earnings. That would be annoying. Donuts are awesome. Indeed, they are. Okay, another thing that I wonder is how many songs don't make it to be publicly heard. We all have probably come across artists online, people online who make their own music and they're not famous by any stretch of the imagination, but yet their music is good. And I personally have found channels that make music that they only have like 20 subs, and I'm like, your music is awesome, dude, and you do this from scratch. This deserves to be heard more mainstream, you know? But yeah, I wonder, the artists that I like, they all express that they make music that we never hear. So I wonder, what is that music? What does that sound like? How many songs do I like that I haven't even heard because I have not accessed them? So I'm pretty sure that there is so much good music out there that is kept from us because, you know, what rules the mainstream is whatever is more uh like more profitable. So it sucks that things are that way, but at the same time, just do your own independent searching for music and you may discover some good stuff. But at the same time, for me, my biggest fear is the years in my life are not enough for me to explore every single song that is coming out and the one that's going to be discovered at some other time, and the ones that I have yet to discover by searching, you know? So I just wish that I could live like maybe 200 years to explore all of that. But nah, I cannot just be alive just to listen to music. That would be a little crazy. I make music on my channel, record everything by myself, but if it doesn't bring in money, then you won't get signed. Exactly. Oh, you guys, I have an intruder. Why are you on my car? Anyways, that's that one gray cat that I featured one time. But yeah, so you are the one who keeps climbing the hood and leaving your paw marks on my windshield. But anyways, I'm not mad. It's raining. He's okay. Um, like songs promote drugs and stuff. Yeah, because you know, population control. Nah, I'm just playing. Well, or am I? I guess I should do like Shane. It's time for a conspiracy theory. That cat wanted in on the video. Yes, he did. And he got featured. Huh? Huh? Am I right? Am I right? Anyways. Let's see. Y'all don't need to see my petals and stuff. Y'all don't know how dirty my carpet is either. Oh my god. This is so difficult. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Also, how many recipes and skills have we lost to time? Meaning, everyone says that they have a recipe that they know because of their grandmother or something. My grandmother used to make it like this and that. Well, to the people who do not get told grandma's recipes, and let's say that you are an only child or something, that recipe may get lost if it was a recipe that your grandmother discovered herself by experimenting. So just how many food combos are we missing out on because someone has failed to share them? And not only that, but I know people who do not give out recipes like, oh, the way you made these beans are really good, what's in it? And then they say, you know what, can't tell you that because I may decide to put it in a can, put a label on it, and then sell it. And I'm like, why aren't you doing it already? If that was really your intent, you would be on it already. But all you're doing is just being egotistical. But at the same time, I really don't ask for recipes like that, but I have been present where someone was asking someone what's on their food and they didn't tell. So, but I'm like, if you have a good business idea, just do something. Don't just wait, you know? Anyways, and also, what skills will we teach the young generation when we become old? So, for example, if I have my grandkids and I'm like 60 years old, what kind of things can I teach my grandchildren? Because it's something that in their time does not exist. So, for example, for me, something that I learned from my grandfather was how to put together a mixture of cement. But of course, I totally forgot because that was way when I was a kid. But I used to help him with that stuff, like whatever he needed to create that mixture. I helped him with that stuff. I could not lift the bags that had the cement in it, but I was there for when we would scoop that stuff out and yeah, turn it into the clay looking thing that becomes cement. So I know you can learn that from anybody, but for me as a kid at the time, no internet, that was my source of information. So, what information will I have that's exclusive to me, that is up to me to pass down to my younger generation? So, yeah, for me, unfortunately, I did not spend that much time with my grandparents. So, I really did not learn very much from them. But I know that there's a lot of stuff that my kids will learn from my mom. Like, my mom has a repertoire of skills to just share. So, I'm eager to see what that would be like. But I don't want to get old and be a useless grandma, you know? So, hopefully, I will learn something. But I think it's more advice that I can offer my grandkids more than hand physical skills. Like, I don't know how to fix my clothes. I don't know how to, I don't even know how to bake something because I've never really tried it. I've never made cookies and stuff like that where most people have done that already. But when it's so convenient to buy it at the store, why mess in the kitchen, you know? You have to truly be a food lover to mess with the kitchen. And I personally like to eat it, but I don't enjoy the act of fixing food. And that's why my cooking videos are rare. But just because I don't film cooking videos doesn't mean that I don't cook at all. It just means that if I can avoid it, I'll avoid it. So baking is a part of it. Let me see. What are you guys saying? There is corruption in the music industry. One of the tricks they used is to give the artist $1 million, and then when the album sells, they take the money back that they loaned plus interest. Most modern music, I can't listen to it. You know what? Me either. It is occasional that I hear a song that's by a young artist or something, and it sounds good. And not even young artists, but some old artists are, what is it? Taking their music in the direction of more modern times, which is the what is it, computerized sounds and junk. I don't even know how to call that, but anyways, synthesizers are being messed with more than ever, put it that way. And I just miss orchestras so much. Like those sounds to me are amazing, but I feel like most people these days don't even play an instrument. It's all computer works and autotune. But but yeah, I cannot just sit here and be like, yeah, all new music is bad, because it isn't always. But I guess what makes me be biased about new music is the fact that I'm a very nostalgic person. So it's possible that I'm just a victim of that. But yeah, I cannot say that modern music is all that appealing for me. Most food I eat, I can find out the ingredients just by taste. Some food is hard to gauge the taste and the ingredients. That's true. Um, I tend to do that myself, but these days I like to have the actual list of ingredients, because some ingredients are there so subtly that if I'm not told about it, I would be like, I don't taste that. I don't pick that up. And then it doesn't help that when you get a little older, your taste perception just changes. So I can definitely feel the difference on how stuff doesn't taste like it used to to me. I am Micronesian. I would teach them about not littering. Oh my God, not littering. That is so important, but yet it seems to be something that's dying. Why is it so tough for people to just freaking take their trash and get rid of it? For me, in my car, I always have a little plastic bag that I dump stuff into, and then when I find a trash bin, I dump the stuff out just to not throw away the plastic. Um, but but yeah, it's not difficult to have trash not be on the ground. These days, I see so much trash on the highway. Ugh, man, it's terrible. That is one reason why many recording artists are in debt. I see people litter all the time. Advise. I agree with that. Yeah, like, what do you gain from littering? It's just so much easier to throw stuff away, because when you litter, the stuff is just disgusting and it's harmful for the environment and everything that surrounds it. So just don't do it. Let's see. I know there was something else I wanted to tell you guys about. Oh, okay. So something funny that I heard while I was at work the other day was, there's this lady. I've known her for years. She was pregnant, and I remember when she was not pregnant, when she used to shop with her boyfriend, and when the baby was getting big inside of her, like the gestation stages. And of course, when the baby came out of that belly, I was not there, thank God, but I did see him when he was like pretty much a few weeks old. And I saw him when he was able to, like sit upright. And then the first time I saw that child walking, I was like, what? How is that possible? How has it been? How old is that kid? 3 years old or something? I'm like, how has it been that long already? The kid is walking, the kid is talking. Like, where did time go? But, anyways, and then that same person, she was going through my line and she was buying muffins. And then the kid was like, "Ooh, mom, are those for me?" And she was like, "Nah, that's mine." And then she was like, "But mom, I like," he was like, "Mom, I like muffins." And then she's like, "Oh, but you're not gonna like it." And he's like, "Why? What does it have in it?" And then she was like, "You're just gonna have to take my word for it." And she's like, "Really, mom? Can I see?" And then she went like, "No." And then she said, "Just trust me, because it has broccoli, carrots, and you just need to take my word for it. It has everything that you don't like." And then I was laughing. I was just rolling because she said broccoli. And then when she said broccoli, I started picturing a broccoli encrusted in the muffin. And then I'm like, you're such a terrible person. But, I didn't tell her that. But, like, later on, I was like, you know what you did, it was kind of terrible, but it was so funny because I remember a time when my mother would do that to me. But yeah, and then she said carrots, so I started imagining the muffin looking a little orangey, but I thought it was funny, your parents be telling you all these lies so that you eat stuff. I'll never forget when I was a kid and mom would tell me, did you know that you're actually eating tomatoes? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And she's like, salsa has tomatoes. And I'm like, but it tastes so different. It tastes so different from what tomatoes taste like when they're just plain, you know? So, but anyways, I figured that that's a tactic that parents just pull out of desperation to get you to either eat things or in this case to discourage you from eating things. But yeah, that was so funny, man. It's one of those things that when you're there, that's when it becomes really entertaining. But I'm so happy that it happened when I was there because I would not have enjoyed it as much had someone told me the story. um, oh yeah, and earlier today, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's this lady called Rebel Wilson, and apparently she became the first plus sized person to be cast on some show. I forget the name of it. But, anyways, she was trending because, of course, that has to generate controversy. But in my mind, the thought that it triggered, and this is going to sound terrible of my part, but the thought I had is, why do we have to not call things by what it is, Why does the term plus size exist? Why can you not say the truth? The truth is that you're fucking fat. Just call it what it is, No one is going to, like, be. Well, you're a public figure, so when you're a public figure, people are talking about you, but they put plus size in quotations. Why do things have to be that way? Why do you get offended? Like, let's see, someone says overweight. When it comes to overweight, I think it's important to distinguish the degree of fatness that affects you. And what I mean by that is there is very, very, like, there's skinny, there's very skinny, there's anorexic skinny, there's very lightweight. Like, there are stages to someone's body shape. And then there's normal weight, and then there's overweight, and then there's obese. Obese is significantly worse than overweight. I get it. But when it comes to expressing things, it's like we are not comfortable enough to call things by what it is. That's the point that I'm trying to get into. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to fat shame anybody. I mean, I had struggles with weight, and I'm not saying that just because that happened to me, that makes it okay for me to talk. It's okay for me to talk about anything. Anybody can talk about anything. Don't let someone be like, you're not good enough to have an opinion because you have never experienced this. Like, no, you have a reason. You have the ability to think and reason, so you are able to generate an opinion, and I think any kind of opinion is valued. But yeah, when I read things, it's like, can you please call it by what it is? What's so bad about it? It's not difficult. Just be like, I know it doesn't sound as pretty or as professional, but let's just say first obese actress to be cast as a main protagonist, as a protagonist in this work of, I don't know, theater or in this movie or something. Why do we have to cover that up? Just call it by what it is. I would appreciate that far better. But then again, that's just my opinion. But I feel like these days, all conversations are more emotional, and it's all about feelings more than practicality, if that makes sense. But anyways, again, that's just me. I'm not sensitive. You can tell me anything. You can come talk to me about anything and express it in any way. You can be crude, but maybe not everyone is like that, and I just want to know why we are so overprotective of that. Universities have safe spaces. Why does that have to be? What happened to you go somewhere and you learn the real truth? You learn stuff as it is, the toughness of it. Now we have to be mindful about what we say and how we say it because we're going to offend somebody. Why? Why does it have to be that way? But anyways, I just bring that up because when I saw the trend, I thought it was interesting. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on that one. My elders put fear of God in me, so whenever I would curse, I would whisper, God, please forgive me to myself. My mom is the same way, actually. These days, especially, she says that more. If I curse, she'll ask for forgiveness on my behalf. And if she's the one who curses, she's like, oh, dear God, forgive me. This and that. And it's cool. It's something that is sacred to us. It's important to her. It's important to me too, but I'm just not as obsessed with it as I should be, I guess, about, oh Lord, please forgive me for cursing, this and that. It doesn't mean that I'm out of touch with my spirituality. It's just that I internalize it more. When I finish my day, I feel gratitude for, say, the food on the table, the fact that I had a good day, the fact that I survived driving back home, and all that stuff. But I don't really express it. I just imply it internally. Like, if God looks into my heart, He knows that I don't take anything for granted. Put it that way, if that makes sense. Um, let's see. I will use reverse psychology on my kids. I will eat a plate of vegetables and I will pretend it is the most delicious food on the planet. I will tell him or her, get away. I remember when my grandparents used to do that too. Make sure that you eat your meat and your veggies because you're way too small. I won't feed my kids processed food like that. I am learning how to cook healthy, so I will make a homemade meal and put it on the family table. That is a very nice, good way to go. I am not religious though. Universities have cry rooms now. Oh my god, you're right. I remember hearing about that and I'm like, oh, no, please, no, no. Why? Why? Just why? It's like, what's going to happen next? The next thing that's going to happen is we are going to demand that at work we have stuff like that. Like, you work for this prestigious company and you have to be accommodated. Why? Just why? You should be able to handle something. But anyways, maybe when I think about it, I'm so glad that I did not spend a dime on college because that's the kind of bullshit that I was going to see. That's irritating. But chill out. Chill out. Hello from Poland. Oh, that's amazing. From all the way out there. Greetings from the east coast of the United States. The beta male female snowflake cry room. I remember reading an article from was it Cornell University or was it Brown? Anyways, one of those was involved in one of those things, and I'm like, oh my god, why? Why? And then we wonder why we are treated like we're kids that are stupid. Like, I feel like the expectations of the present generation are so much, what is it? Way lighter, way easier, way. The expectations are low. The bar is lower, put it that way. Oh, and there's something else that I should make a separate stream about this, but depending on how this goes, I will consider that. But last night I had another thought. And my other thought was it was about affirmative action. So now that I remember, I wrote stuff down about it and I have it at home. And unfortunately, I'm not at home right now. So, Yeah, I'll have to look for it. But affirmative actions. Do you guys agree with it or do you guys disagree with it? And if you do, why or why not? And basically, my take on it is that I feel like it perpetuates some of the problems that we have in society right now when it comes to people being hired or considered for some things. Because when you think about it, when it comes to some universities will prefer to admit you just because you are of a certain race and not necessarily because you meet the merit. And I'm like, okay, I try to imagine if I was in the position where affirmative action does not necessarily benefit me, I would be annoyed that I am not being given opportunities just because there's a political agenda that needs to be fulfilled, and therefore now my dreams are unnecessarily tough for me to reach. See what I mean? Imagine that I'm trying to be a model, and these days it's a certain image that's being pushed down. Let's say that I don't fit the image, but clearly I have the perfect body shape, the perfect height, whatever it is that makes someone appealing as a model, and whatever the standard is. It's like I am going to be turned down simply because I do not fit the agenda of, oh, we're looking to make this a more diverse place. Does diversity mean anti a certain race? That's what I am questioning. Affirmative action makes it seem that way, like it's anti a certain group of people. But then again, I do believe that at some point, some people were at a disadvantage and some people are still at a disadvantage. But is affirmative action really the way to fix it? I think that it is good to give opportunities to people who meet the merit requirement for it. But anyways, that's just my opinion. I'll be sure to create a separate stream about it with the little notes that I jotted down, and it'll make better sense then. But I just needed to get that out of my system because I've been thinking about it and thinking about it, thinking about it, and I see so many trends about that. So I just want to know what you guys think. The Mr. Man is here. Hi. I am black. I am against affirmative action. I was for black people after slavery, the feminazi, LGBT cult, and low IQ SJW are misusing it. Yes, I am so glad that you phrase it like that, because these days it seems like there's a group of people who are doing just that, and it's usually people who already have privileges, like the women, for example. Why are you making such a big deal about certain things that you already benefit from? I don't know. But the other day, I nearly got into an argument with a coworker because she was like, oh, everything that doesn't work around here, blame it on the man. And I guess she was expecting for me to like go along with that. And I was like, when was the last time that you were a technician fixing these issues again? When was the last time that you said, you know what, I want to have training on how to handle this piece of equipment just so that I can be productive when that department has a call out? When was the last time that you did something around here? And she was like, where's that coming from? Why are you acting like that? Why are you giving me an attitude? And I'm like, I'm not giving you an attitude. I'm arguing with you. I am debating with you. I want answers from you. So don't talk smack if you yourself do not have a good record yourself. If you don't have a thing to defend. See what I mean? Because I call bullshit out. I'm not afraid. You know? So yeah, you already come here to work to do the bare minimum, and you complain about the hours that you get and that you don't get paid enough. No, you cannot do the bare minimum and expect for a good raise. It doesn't work like that. And she's like, well, I have a child that I have to maintain. And I'm like, that's your problem. If you decided to not take care of yourself and you became pregnant, that's your responsibility. The store does not have to fix your problems. We don't have to fix your life. That's your responsibility. And that's why some people don't like me, because I say that stuff. And I'm like, I want for the person to be responsible for their actions. I would love to have kids running around in my house, but I know better than to do that and to set myself back financially decades, you know? So it's not because you are a girl that life is tough for you. It's because you are making bad decisions. Did you go to college? I never hear you talking about when I was in college. I never hear you talking about what kind of job you want to do. Like usually people who go to college, they automatically, without asking, they tell you, I'm going to school to become a doctor. I'm going to school for graphic design or something. But you're not talking about that. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? And you're always talking about men and relationships and how to make dates be more fun and this and that. You're not even dating material, if you ask me, because you don't have your personal life straight. What are you doing? So, anyways, that concludes that vent and that rambling, and that's why I brought up my question, because I hear this stuff and I'm like, this person is being deceiving. Why? So, anyways, wow, there is a name with an A that I cannot say, but he or she says hello. I think it's a he. And yeah, I just want to let you know that I see you with the little green circle. And lazy people work or starve. Even if we was in tribal times, if you cannot hunt them, then you starve. True. So you don't have kids, so you want that everybody does not have kids? No, it's not that I don't want for people to have kids. What I want is for people to have kids when they are prepared. And if you are not prepared and you end up having a child, I want you to be responsible. There is a difference. It is possible to have a child in this day and age and survive and be okay, but what I don't want to hear is the attitude that life is tough for you because circumstances are piling against you. There is a conspiracy against you. The government is not helping you. It doesn't work like that. You have to do good use of the resources that you gather. And some people don't do that. Some people have their values and priorities really mixed up. Like, why are you going to the mall every weekend and shopping there when you cannot afford it, for example? So, yeah, why are you talking about going to some party when parties usually cost money? Why are you doing that instead of picking up extra hours? You know? Let's see. Affirmative action means you are judged on the external. Black female instead of your ability, it means that black women are incapable and infantilized. No one is prepared for a child. I do believe that there are steps that you can take to become better at parenting when the time comes. So definitely when you are expecting a child, I would say start educating yourself on how a child changes your life, the things that you can expect, the investments that you gotta make, the accommodations that you should consider, and just have a plan for it. But of course, there is no true guidebook. The guidebook that, like, if my mom were to sit here and talk to y'all about how she brought us up, her techniques are not going to work with your kids because every single child is a different being, is a different soul. It'll require different steps. But there are things that make you being a parent significantly painless. And one of them is being in a better position financially. And especially, even better, is if you can count on the support of your partner. Because what I am seeing these days is a lot of single parents and they end up in really tough situations, and it is the children who end up suffering the most unnecessarily because their parents do not have the proper organization, or the parent that has custody isn't organized with their stuff, and then stuff happens, and I am just fed up of hearing it and people telling me the wrong reasons for why that is so in their lives. So I just want to see people be more responsible. She is not anti-kid, she is pro-baby. If you cannot handle money, then you shouldn't have money. That is false. But yeah, definitely. I think that you are able to become knowledgeable on certain things so that, okay, preparedness makes you better. When you go to a job interview and you are prepared, you have better results more often than not. When you go to your job and you prepare for it, you tend to do better. When you go take a test and you prepare for it, your grades tend to be better. So when you are going to become a parent, the more prepared that you are, the better your experience will be. It will not be easy. It will not be painless, but it will be better. That's what I'm saying. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure being here hanging out with y'all, but I kind of have to bail. I have to go. I have to leave. And yeah, hopefully traffic got a little better now, but I have to head home. So thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with me. I am not missing in action. I have not disappeared. It's a combination of me having been sick, but also having weird hours. But yeah, I'll be around. I'll try to be back tomorrow for sure. But if I'm not, I shall be lurking around. A test, a job meeting, and all the rest during one day. Being a parent is the entire life. Yeah. All right, guys. Bye bye.